Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I'm your host Ray,
I'm Evie.
and Evie. We just saw separately Spider-Man. Now, I will say this before we begin, uh, because we just reviewed all the Spider-Man movies leading up to this. Uh, I will say, in retrospect, I wish we didn't review it until we saw this movie first, because it encapsulates all the preceding like films. But your thoughts of this movie?
My thoughts of this movie. At first, I saw it twice.
Mhm.
So I saw it twice. The first time I watched it, I thought it was way too long,
Okay.
you know, special effects. But
Mhm.
then when I saw it the second time, it kind of caught my heart during the end. Well, the second time seeing it
Mhm.
gave
Mhm.
it more like respect and more. It kind of sucked you in that you understand what the real things were
Right.
and why the film was like that, kind of uh caught your heart, because a lot because it's because you kind of like held on to like every moment and why what happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, it kind of really kind of, yeah, it got my heart, and yeah, definitely I'd watch it again.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I got emotional too. Having parents in my, like, and having going through a certain point in your life where you lose parents and divorce or whatever it is. I got emotional. Like my parents are at the age now where one will be passing on very shortly, so
Oh,
I relate to that on an emotional level. So I got very emotional. So, and but the beauty of this is that when you saw the trailer, it looked bombastic because you're seeing like Doc Ock, you're seeing Electro. They're showing you like this bigger than life story, but really the story is very simple. Like this is a very controlled and very simplistic and very small story, which became big, but but it was still pretty contained. Like it wasn't like a crazy like because like I think when people okay, I think what happened was and this is a good thing, fans expectations, fan theories were flying all over the place. Like there was stories about seeing Tobey Maguire, seeing Andrew Garfield, we're gonna be having
mm,
this, or we're gonna be having that.
mm,
And what's
mm,
cool about this movie, and I won't give anything away right now, is that all of those fan theories were all right. Everybody was right in some regard. Like as much as far as you can um, imply this, like whatever you'd want to see in this movie, this film delivered in a way that I didn't think it was possible. And not only what did it deliver, like everything, critics will love this because the story, it was focused. It actually had a really good story to tell.
mhm,
And
mhm,
for the critics who didn't like Tom Holland because it does it's if you're a fan of the comic book, and because the fact that he has all this tech and he has Tony Stark that backs him and he has the Avengers that back him, and he's not a Spider-Man who does his own thing. Like he's like always looking for approval from either Happy or from Stark or from like whatever it is. This film brings it full circle to the grassroots of what Spider-Man means to the real fans of the comic book. You know, in a way that in a way that if you didn't see it, you definitely got it.
mhm.
So this was an extraordinary film, and I will say, without giving the as you say away, this is the end game for Spider-Man in terms of like it's like this is Spider-Man's end game. If Endgame was for the sorry, what Endgame was for the MCU, all 24 MCU movies, this is the end game for Sony's representation of Spider-Man. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, definitely,
You know?
definitely. It's all about feeling and people in your life, and yeah, that things and power and fame That's just, those are things, just, people are more important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do what we should do. We should do like a non-spoiler and a spoiler, because I want to talk about this more. So we'll talk about, we're gonna give the first half. We're gonna do a non-spoiler, and then I'll have a little bit of intermission, and then we'll go into a spoiler section. Okay, just to give people a chance to separate. Okay, so for non-spoilers, this is great. So what I'll do refer to is basically the commercial. What you see in the commercial is what we're going to discuss, like as far as we can evolve. Okay, that'd be a fair way of going about it. We do know there's Electro, and we do know there's the Doc Ock that was shown to you in the trailer.
Hmm.
Which is great, and we know that Doctor Strange makes a spell for him to, because how the last movie ends. This movie takes place exactly like as soon as the last movie ends. This movie starts off again.
Hmm.
So no, this is no spoiler unless you haven't seen Far From Home. The world, he's been unmasked to the world. The world at large knows who he is, and now we're seeing him just getting used to like how is he going to cope with life being revealed, which is kind of ironic because a lot of the superheroes, everyone knows who they are. you know, Spider-Man is the only one who has a secret identity, really. I mean, Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, Hulk, everyone knows who they are. Just Spider-Man is the one that they kind of make it a bigger deal. I don't know. Uh, your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think you're right. Nobody else is famous, so they're just people into a regular identity. So he doesn't want that. Yet other people crave it for some reason. So yeah, that's what I thought first of all.
The part I like, I think, for me is Jay Jonah, because you bring back
Mhm.
the Jay Jonah from Tobey Maguire's Jay
Yeah.
Jonah, but he is the Alex Jones in this version. He's a video podcast. Is at the Daily Bugle.
Hmm.
It's a low rent version first, and he has it in for Spider-Man, and so that stays the same. That stays intact. How'd you like J.K. Simmons in this version?
How do I think he links into this version?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants to be known, and
Mhm.
being known through knowing Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
And um, yet he's got different goals.
Mhm.
Jay Jonah is his power, money. You know, treats his wife really bad by saying, whatever, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, they both have goals, different. Peter Parker um, loves his aunt, so,
Mhm.
and power, and yeah, power isn't what he wants,
No.
like Spider-Man's aunt. So
Mhm.
yeah, no, I'm done.
Okay. Okay. And the last thing I'll mention is let's talk about Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, because this is what causes everything to go
Yeah.
sideways. Spell goes awry because he keeps changing the spell on Doctor Strange as he's making the incantation, to the point where it gets out of control.
Mhm.
So that's really, really good. I thought this was like just amazing in the sense that um, I thought this was going to set up like the multiverse of madness. The way it's set up. In fact, multiverse of madness was supposed to come first, and then Spider-Man Far From Home, but it got reversed. So they had to rewrite it, multiverse, to be different.
Mhm.
For those who care to find out, uh, I liked it. I thought there's a lot of humor in it, because the way he's undecisive and how that he keeps. Oh no, he goes like, my mom has my Aunt May has to know. Oh, and Ned has to know, and then MJ has to know because my girlfriend has to know. And then of course everything kind of he can't. He actually alters the actual spell, the incantation, as Strange is doing it, and that's when all things go out of whack. Um, Was there a cameo that you liked in this movie by chance? You don't have to say who the cameo is, but was there like cameos that took you by surprise?
I miss what's his name. Um, I know. Who's the who did they put in every Spider-Man film or
Oh,
every I
Happy?
can't
Happy Hogan?
yeah, Happy Hogan
Hmm.
and yeah, and somebody else, but they passed away. That's
Oh,
why I'm saying
oh,
that.
Stark?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I miss him. I
Hmm.
like him, but
Right.
anyway. Yeah, yeah, who do I think there's a different Jane as well.
Different Jane. Yes, Mary
Who's his
Jane.
girlfriend?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Mary Jane.
MJ,
That's it.
MJ,
Yeah,
Michelle. Yeah, we find her name is Michelle James, but like, yeah,
yeah.
MJ, which is really surprising because the way it's promoted, you think this is to be an expansive place, and it's the multiverse. I mean, these are things that people knew going into it, but the people you're seeing is just the right amount of people you want. There aren't anyone who's not supposed to be there. Everyone you see in this movie is just the right amount of people, and it
Okay.
works. It works in every sense of the word. I'll give away. I'll talk about that more in a spoiler section, but like I just think it works so much well, and it really plays to that. I love the idea of Ned being a magician. You know, he has magic in his family, and it kind of translates into the film. And it's not a spoiler because like, he's not he has no magic, but it's kind of fun. Uh,
Mm.
the only thing I'll have to say, which I really enjoy, that's better, is they finally give MJ a better role in this movie. Like both her and Ned actually contribute more to the film, more so than the first two film movies, and I think that's really great. And I think there's a really good chemistry between Holland and Zendaya. They really work together in this film. I think that's a really good starting point, and it's a good way to get that to build on. I think that's a really well established because that's the bedrock for all this stuff. And of course, Aunt May. And once you establish a heart and a reason for all this stuff, then you could go from there. And I think they do that really. They didn't lose sight of the importance of family or of the relationships, and this is what makes it work so well and keeps it together.
Cool.
Okay.
Great.
All right, so now let's go. We're going to get to the spoiler section. Okay, so just take a little. We'll take a bit of a break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We're getting okay. So we're back. So we're going to talk about the spoiler section now. For those, we try to give you enough time to like turn off the TV or the YouTube channel or the audio podcast. And for those who've listened to the show, who watched the movie, hope you enjoy this part of the show. Okay, so my biggest thing was seeing Matt Murdock because he comes in Daredevil. You know, he is Peter Parker's lawyer. You know, and he's able to catch the rock when someone throws a stone into the kitchen, and he's not even looking at it. He just catches it from the side. You know, which is like total cool. We bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and which is amazing because it gives all the Spider-Man films closure. You know, this is the trilogy for the Amazing Spider-Man films, and it gives closure to Tobey Maguire's story. You know, because all the villains they pluck a villain from each of those films, all five films, and they give it closure for that. You know, they give a solution. They give everybody a happy ending, if you will. Maybe not happy, but they give it closure, which is something um, that if you felt that the Andrew Garfield movie wasn't great, this makes the movies worth watching again. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, you're right. Garfield. Yeah, he wasn't. I don't think he was there very, very much.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and so we hardly get to know who he is. So I do agree with you. You know, um, uh, definitely, definitely,
Mhm.
it made me feel sorry for him actually, or to have some sympathy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking the other day also. I always think of um why is he on the poster of that film, He's not.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I always wanted to know like what happened to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, I mean, they say there's, sorry, they say there's Easter eggs for this film, and it's true. If you watch those movies, which we have, the scenes where he saves MJ from falling, it's a redemption for that he couldn't save Gwen. Uh, when Toby stops Tom Holland's character from killing the goblin on the glider, it's a callback to what he did, or what he couldn't stop. So there are things in it. If you look carefully, it's send-ups to the original films, and the way it's written down, it's beautifully well put. Uh, Granted, the special effects in this case is good because the de-aging for Albert Molina, the de-aging for William Dafoe, it looked like the same as when they did the film back in the early 2000s, which is just incredible. Like they look like they haven't aged a day. Um, Thomas Hayden Church, he's probably CGI. I mean, I don't think he was even on set because he was a Sandman throughout most of it. And when you saw him in these human guys, it looks CGI still. But I thought, the way they capture everybody was amazing. And did you find any faults in this movie in terms of like storytelling?
Of which one? Of the
No Way Home.
No Way Home? Any faults?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, how about storytelling? Did you find any flaws in the storytelling?
Storytelling. Yeah, found like that last part where all Spider-Men are like sitting there on the bridge.
Mhm.
Yeah, I found them speaking um to each other went too fast, so they didn't get a chance to, I guess, shell that out,
Okay.
you know, because they all talked about whatever.
Mhm.
And for me, well, when you talk and talk and say something, you know,
Mhm.
that wasn't given enough enough talk. So then the person looking at them or like playing the viewers shouldn't, it's not, it didn't shell out how much or everything. It didn't stretch out all of the meaning of everything.
Okay.
That's what, I think like if you're gonna talk about something, make it mean something if you're gonna talk about it.
Okay. Well, I
If
okay. Well, that's a good point. The parts they talk about are more like fan service. I mean, for example, like the web shooters. Toby was the only person whose web shoots was organic, like it was in
Mhm.
him. Whereas the Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland had to make theirs artificial. So they discussed that because that was something people like fans would talk about. You know, and then also there was a discussion about how Andrew Garfield's character helped Toby's bad back
Mhm.
because there was a discussion. I don't know if you know about this. Um, Rumor was it that McGuire wanted more money, or he wanted out of doing Spider-Man 3 beforehand,
Mhm.
and he was saying he had a bad back. So when he fell down in the dumpster in the actual movie, he goes, "My
Oh,
back,
okay.
my back."
Wow.
So that whole sequence of him fixing his back in the movie is a callback to all that strife that was going on back in the film, and then he helped
Okay.
correct his back. So if you were a fan or knew of the behind the scenes stuff, then there are callbacks to certain things, which is why they did. That's you have to be aware of where it comes from to get the backstory. Um, the parts that I found questionable is the spell. The people who came through the portal are those who knew he was Spider-Man, knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, right? That was the
Yeah.
spell,
Okay.
right? So, I mean, Goblin knew who he was, Sandman knew who he was, Doc Octopus knew who he was, right? They knew he was Peter Parker was Spider-Man. The only person who didn't know was Electro.
Yeah, you're right.
Even Electro made a reference to Miles Morales in the movie, hoping that he'd be a brother from the Queens.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Oh, from the movie? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so that doesn't make sense because Electro and Doc Connors. I mean, maybe no, Doc Connors probably knew he was near the end, but Electro was the only character who didn't know that he was Peter Parker. So the fact that
Yeah.
he was able to get through the porthole, you know, didn't make much sense.
Hmm.
You know, and if it was about someone who dies before coming over, the Connors just didn't die. He's still alive. You know, he didn't die in the movie. He was cured. Oh no, it wasn't. Was he cured? I can't remember if he was cured or not. But like he
Who?
didn't die. The lizard man, he didn't die.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they reversed the serum on him, but he didn't die. You know, in Sandman, he didn't die either. He just kind of floated away. So some of the context of what the spell was about didn't really make a lot of sense. So that's what kind of bothered me in some instances. Besides that, I mean, I still loved it. It was, I mean, it was really solid. And the callbacks to the part that I got emotional on is that, of course, when Aunt May passes away, and then he looks up and he sees the jumbotron of JJ, and already blaming himself for May's passing. Jay Jonah puts the nail in his coffin, like driving it home like it's his fault. And because of the rains on him, like you can see he's crying, like just that whole sequence when he's alone, the anger he must be feeling at that point, at that level, it must be immense. And that's only echoed in his fight against a Goblin in the final fight, So, the only problem you can say is that, Spider-Man's a good guy, yet Holland's character was going to kill the Goblin. Like he wasn't going to pull his punch. He was actually going to kill him if it wasn't for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man stopping him. There was no sign of him going to stop. Like he was going to go through with it and kill him.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be because that goes against the whole Ben's comes great power, comes great responsibility. He was still going to do it. So yeah, I thought that one missed the mark, I think. But anyways, besides that, I like the story very much. So
cool.
Okay. Well, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, how can they reach us?
They can reach us through email.
And what's our email address?
Email address is
or what's a website? Sorry, just do the website.
Okay. www.pantheon.com.
Yep. Or pantheonfm.com.
Sorry, yeah. Pantheon. And also on Twitter if you want it. And there's email. Yeah.
At gmail.com. That's right.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And on that note, I am Ray.
And I'm Evie.
We'll talk to you later. Take care.